Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Darcy Knight, and thank you back to the vlog channel. I know what we're going to have today is, first off, I am borrowing this video from IGN. I'm leaving their logo down in the corner so nobody thinks that I have the game already and playing. I wish I did, but I don't, okay? So, I'm going to go through their video today of the Midgardsormr. I know I'm pronouncing that totally different, but it's the giant snake from Final Fantasy VII. So I'm going to go ahead through it. It's only about a 4-minute long video, so it's going to be a short video real quick. And I'm going to talk about a few things that I've seen actually in the video that I want to talk about real quick here. So let's go ahead and click the play. And as you see, it starts out here with the good old chocobo riding. You can see it in the background there. Now, it's cool. I see down in the corner, you see a level 3 chocobo. So does that mean we're going to be upgrading the animals and using them more? I see the little circle around the thing for the armature weapon is up, I see. So this is a little later on in the game. So, okay, so this is a level, I think, 52 creature. So you're going to have to work for a while before you go head after them. And the warp strike, I notice, is a higher percentage than what we've seen in the Platinum demo. Now, this could be due to something inside of the actual okay, here's one of the things I want to talk about. Now, here's a counter, a block parry counter, and boom, you get to counter with magic. Okay, that must be a new trait inside the skill tree. So I'm looking forward to finding that one there. That's a setting that we haven't seen yet. We didn't see that in actually doing the demo. There's the Ingus strike there. So I did notice there are a few little issues still with the game, and I'll point them out here as they come up here. As you can see, it's still a little shaky, but this is what you get whenever you borrow somebody else's video and stuff like that. Now, you can see there is still some clipping issues between rocks and the creatures and your fighters. But this is really cool. You actually see it slows down. The blizzard actually slows down the creatures and the attacks. That's a feature that we really didn't see much of yet. So that's really neat. And you see that warp strikes from different angles with different weapons. Here's some of the clipping right there, with the tail right through the rock. You can actually see that you actually do a little more damage with the creature being frozen like that, which is kind of neat, especially using a blizzard sword. Alright, I thought he was going to do a spell. He's going to do a spell here again. The Wyvern Lance. You see a little bit of the clipping again. So I'm kind of curious about the different skill tree set on how many different abilities you're able to unlock by this time, and the different things you can do there. And the way this creature moves is really neat. Like, here's another block, but even with the block coming up, he's still able to parry. And here's the other feature we didn't see. He only froze half of the creature. The front half is still okay, solid movement, but the back half you see is the tail is still frozen. So it means we're going to have to be careful with our magic attacks and not just toss him out and his prey will hit. Here's the other effect that's really neat. You see that Noctis is low on health, and you have this red glow around your screen, a warning setting as telling you that you need to do a potion real quick, which is a really nice feature that I don't remember seeing in the Judgment demo. Alright, so I'm looking around real quick. I don't think there's another spot, but we can see up in the upper side there by the map, it says 2 days left with a chocobo icon. Does that mean we have to re-rent our chocobos after so many days? Or is that just something that it'll stay around the battlefield? Because he is standing there in the background. You can see him there. And there you go. They got an A for knocking him down. You can actually see the actual beautiful textures of the skin of the snake. It's really neat. You still see some clipping issues with its head and thing. Now, you see, they just said camping's not going to cut it for me. So does that mean that at certain points that you try camping and they're going to say, no, we're not doing camping, you have to find a hotel? That's another one of those ever little things that we would like to see here. Go ahead and just play this for a second so I can go back to that spot. Yeah, right there is the end. Okay, let's see if I can quickly just... Right here, I just want to flop on a hotel bed. Cannonball for me, says prompt to. And as Noctis says right there, camp is not going to cut it tonight. So does that mean that if you go try camping, they're going to say, no, we're not doing it, it's not going to work? So that's going to be a really neat aspect, is if you're going to actually have to force you to go back to a town or somewhere else. Now, if you look up in this corner here, where my picture is, you see that there's 2 days left of what I was talking about with the chocobo. Does that mean that we only can rent chocobos for so many days? And if that's the case, can we choose the days and stuff like that? That's one thing we didn't see here. What was the other one? Right here. Okay, here. We go back all the way to the beginning. We're supposed to be meeting Iris here, it looks like. But as you see down here, say level 3 chocobo. So does that mean that we're going to be leveling these creatures up like we did in Final Fantasy VII? I know rumors that they are going to help you fight and you could teach them things like that. So that's going to be a really interesting aspect all right there. How long does it take to upgrade a chocobo? What does it take to upgrade a chocobo? Is it certain foods you give it? Is it certain races you do? Is it certain other things? So that's a whole new aspect we haven't seen there. The trot, the halt, that's pretty cool. So that's kind of a neat thing that I saw there. And of course, the Arbiter weapons, whenever... I'm surprised they didn't use them. But I say, of course, they're talking about, are you kidding me, that they're going to go after these creatures. So they're going to actually talk about what's going on in the world as you go. I think there was one other thing I wanted to look at. I want to go back to that point where the snake was half frozen. Right here. You can see that the back half of that snake is still frozen, but the front half isn't. So that means it's only half the speed. It lost half of its abilities. So this is going to be something we're going to look at. Like going after an Iron Giant. If you freeze just an arm, that's going to be a really curious and interesting type of way to do things. So now I am thinking about a whole different way of bringing on fights. Do I just want to freeze half the creature, all the creature? Because when you freeze all the creature, you could see that it slows down its attack and it's harder. It hits you a little less harder. In this shot right here, it's totally frozen. It slows down. It can't hit you as hard. So right there, that if you freeze all of it, you're good. Oh, there's that clipping issue there. And you actually see you do more damage when it's in the frozen areas. So if you only freeze or burn half of it, you're going to want to focus on attacking that half of the creature. So this combat is just not your usual click, 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 boom. It is not your God of War or your God of Wars, what was the other game here? That I'm thinking. It is not just a beat 'em up where you just keep hitting the punch button. This old joke, just press X, is not going to work here for this. You're going to hit it a few times, and then you're going to have to hit the, defense, jump back, warp out, rethinking your attack, and go from there. So it's kind of interesting on, this is going to be an action RPG, but it's going to really put your thoughts in the RPG style. Okay, I froze half of it. So with it frozen, if the creature's weak against freezing, I want to keep using a weapon that deals ice damage. But if it's a weapon you could freeze and then use a fire damage weapon, does it give us an offset? Does it double flip? I don't know. That's going to be one of the neat things to actually test and find out. So I'm looking forward to this game even more now in 7 days if you're watching this from release. So let me know what you guys think. I know this is a short rundown. It wasn't a very long video, but there's a few things that I saw that I wanted to talk about. So let me know what you think. I am Dark Tonight. I'll see you guys all out there in the YouTube land.